Hello everyone. In continuation to a paraphrase of William Shakespeare's play As You Like It, this is our seventh part, paraphrase number 4, and we are discussing Act 2. We have already completed 3 scenes from Act 2 and today we will continue further. Act 2, Scene 4 takes place in the forest of Arden, and the scene opens with Rosalind disguised as Ganymede. We see Touchstone complaining of tired legs, and Rosalind even she admits that she is tired, but because she is disguised as a man, she feels that she should act strong, and therefore she says, "But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat." So petticoat here stands for the women and doublet and hose stands for men. So she acts strong because she feels that men ought to show themselves more courageous than the women. Now, Touchstone, he remarks that he's sounding more foolish in Arden than he was at court, but then he says that travelers must be satisfied, travelers must be content. Then, at this moment, there enter Corin and Silvius. Now, Corin is an old man and Silvius a young man. Silvius says to Corin that Corin cannot ever understand how deeply Silvius is in love. Silvius asks Corin how many ridiculous things he has done out of love, and Corin replies that he has done 1,000 of things in love, but he does not remember a single one. Silvius then enters into a poetic monologue, and hmm, he here is talking about his love for Phoebe. So he says, "O thou did then never love so heartily, if thou remembers not the slightest folly that ever loved thee make thee run into thou hast not loved, or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearing thy hearer in thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved." So Silvius, he says to Corinne that if you do not remember what foolish things you have done in love, then you have never loved. Then he talks about his own love, and he says that how deeply he is in love, and then he calls out the name of his beloved Phoebe 3 times. Then Rosalind and Touchstone, they are hearing the conversation of Corin and Silvius, and they are touched by Silvius' speech, which they have overheard. Now, this reminds Touchstone of his own love, and he remembers his old lover, that is, whose name is Jane Smile, and he says that all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly. Folly means foolishness. Then at this moment we see Celia intervening, and she is very tired and she is very hungry, and so she tells Rosalind to ask Corin if he has any food. Corin then regrets, he says to Rosalind that he is merely a shepherd and he is employed to a rough employer, but he invites Rosalind to come and see their sheep cottage and pastures, which are now for sale. So these this sheep cot sorry this cottage and the field, they belong to his masters and they are for sale. So Rosalind and Celia, both of them, they immediately order Corin to buy the cottage for them, and they are ready to give the money. So to this, Corin happily agrees. So this is the play about that. This scene. It takes the story further, and we see Rosalind and Celia uh, finding an accommodation for them in the forest of Arden, where they are going to live. Act 2, Scene 5. It takes place in another part of the forest. And here we see Amiens and Jax. Amiens enters singing a song which is an ode to nature, and the song goes as: Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and turns his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat, come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. So the song, it invites the listener to come to the greenwood tree. Now the first line of this song, Under the Greenwood Tree, has become the title of a famous novel by Thomas Hardy. Now Jax, he persists Amiens to keep singing, but Amiens says that if he continue singing, then it would make Jax melancholy. To which Jax reply that he could suck melancholy out of any song. Now, before finishing the song, Amiens he tells Jax that Duke Senior has been looking for Jax all day, and Jax replies that he knows and that he has been avoiding him. After this, Jax he gives Amiens a poem that he has written, and this poem, which has been written by Jax, describes a man who leaves his wealth to live amongst fools. Amiens sings it aloud, and this song, in this song, the word dukedom is repeated thrice, and Amiens he wants to know what is the meaning of dukedom, and and Amiens feels that this word has been invented, but Jax says that it is a Greek word and it means uh, to call fool into a circle. After that, after this, the two move on their way. Amiens he goes in search of the Duke, and Jax he goes to sleep. So here we see two songs being sung, and in first song, nature is invoked as a positive and welcoming presence, and Jax, he we come to know that he is a melancholy man, and his poem stands in contrast to Amiens' first song. Uh, so this is how this act moves forward. Act 2, Scene 6. It takes place in another part of the forest. Enter Orlando and Adam. And as both of them enter the forest of Arden, we see Adam complaining that he can go no further and will die of hunger. So he's tired and hungry. He says to Orlando, Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master. So he's so tired and hungry that he feels that he is going to die. Orlando, he tries to cheer him up, and he asks Adam to persist at least while he goes to find something for him to eat. So we see Orlando telling Adam, live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it or bring it for food to thee. That is, he is ready to sacrifice uh, anything to for Adam. And here we see that Orlando, he is very attentive to Adam, and he attends Adam very loyally, and it raises the audience respect of him. So here we see Orlando exhibiting a noble character, and this scene, it throws light on the character of Orlando. Orlando is a very gentle and good young man.